Hello and welcome again to Tommy's Travers' rugby prediction on the France-Ireland match on Saturday. Now, before I talk about that, I just have John White with me again. Welcome, John, this evening. And we're just going to do a little preview or talk about the Ireland-Wales game. And Ireland did do fairly well. Now, I thought it would have been a lot tighter, but in fairness to John, you were more right than I was on that because you sort of knew that Ireland was going to win it. I was a bit worried and thought it might be a bit of a tight match, but it wasn't. Ireland came away fairly well. But having said that, Wales didn't play that bad either, John. I didn't think so. What did you think, John?
Well, from the Wales point of view, they were a lot weaker in attack than I expected them to be. But I was quite pleasantly surprised, probably a bit too dramatic. I thought they were a lot better in defence than I expected them to be. Ireland probably left an extra, maybe up to 20 extra points on the pitch. And some of that was down to really good Welsh defending. I felt at times Wales did have decent attack going, but the Irish back row just stopped anything from happening. Like just really on top of every single ruck. The turnovers off the top of my head now, I think it was something ridiculous, like 7 turnovers. Ireland had 7 turnovers to Wales' 2. Like you're just not going to be able to attack in that situation. So I think a lot of people are saying Wales were really bad. I actually think Ireland's defending was really, really good, especially just like going after the ball in the ruck and things like that. Just neutralised the attack completely. It was a really, really well put together defensive game plan.
Yeah. Well, the one thing, John, I was delighted with on the Irish side now, I thought that their attacking was very good and their passing of the ball, I think, is after improving. Definitely since last year, anyway. They're passing the ball. They were passing the ball very slick, and they were holding all the passes. They weren't letting that drop or anything like that. So I thought they were very good that way. But they're really going to need it now, John, up against France now on the weekend, on Saturday in Paris, because it's a away match. And while the supporters are back travelling, do you know what I mean? France will have the most support over there. And over the years, Ireland always got it very, very hard to win over there. The one in 2000, Brian O'Driscoll was only a young lad at the time, and he actually scored 3 tries. He scored a hat-trick of tries over there in 2000, and they won it. They did win there a few years ago. Johnny Sexton got a late, very, very late drop goal. And I think that was the last year that they won the whole lot outright again. I can't actually remember the year. But unfortunately...
I think off the top of my head, I think it was 2018.
I think, it probably was.
It was the first right. Match, first round, yeah.
Yeah. And... unfortunately, John, I'm only after hearing it there now because I didn't hear the sport this morning that Sexton is after getting injured. He pulled a hamstring seemingly yesterday, I think it was, in training. And as you know, John, training in the cold, like it's cold weather here now at the moment in February, Norman, in Ireland. And I think you pull the likes of them hamstrings quicker in that bad weather, don't you? Like they were training in Portugal and they're coming back now, and it's a pity now. In actual fact, John, now look at these fellas are experts, Fardell and all these guys doing the training and all. But I always hate if you're training right up to the match. Now all the teams seem to do it, you know. I prefer on the Monday, just leave the training and don't do any more till the match. But they are the experts. But the problem with it is then if someone gets pulls a hamstring or something like that, you know. So it's after happening now anyway, so they can do nothing about it. Now, Joey Carberry is in his place. Now, Joey Carberry is a good footballer and good player, and he did come back there. He played for a while. Now, he hasn't got that much under his belt, and they have, Carty of Connacht, I think, he'll come in then if Carberry gets hurt or anything, because as you well know, John, it's a dangerous position. You always think anyhow out half because they're really targeted, aren't they? Now, I know all the players are targeted, but the centre halves are really targeted, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think,
halves,
yeah, but like we talked about it last week about Johnny Sexton and why he potentially gets more attention than most outouts.
Yeah.
But like the thing as well to say, like, however he got injured, it's happened now regardless. They think he's out for maximum 10 days, so he should be able to feature in the next round. But the what I'm going to find really interesting about this is Carberry is just quite it's very make or break for him. Like you said, he's been out injured for a good while. He's back now. He's had a run of games with Munster, and it's what it's really going to come down to is because the Irish attack is like, I mean, obviously your 10 is massively involved in your attack at all points. It's an incredibly important position, but Johnny Sexton is more important to the Irish attack than a 10 usually is. You look at all the fantastic, like you were saying over the weekend in the Wales Ireland match, the fantastic passages of passing play, lots of loop runs, which Johnny Sexton always runs, lots of dummies. Part of the reason that so many of those passes look fantastic is because there's 1, 2, or even 3 dummy runners running at the line who aren't going to get the ball, but they sell it perfectly well. So the pass between them or behind looks even better. Like it's incredibly involved. And I haven't seen the passing stats for the game, but I felt like Johnny Sexton must have made half the passes in the game because he's normally involved at least twice in a phase on attack. So it's going to be Carberry. They're not going to be as potent as if they had Sexton there, but are they going to have enough in the tank with Carberry to make that happen? And if not, how soon are they? Because a lot of people are saying Carty should be starting, that he's more attacking minded. So at what point then, if it's not working, are they going to switch and bring on Carty instead? It's going to be a tough one.
Oh, it is, yeah, because I'd say now, John, it was a tight call between Carberry and Carty, because Carty, in fairness to him, he's a very good out half as well. So looking at him playing there for Connacht, and he did play a few times for Ireland as well. Like, he is a good, exceptional player. Well, I know you're not going to be selected for any of these international teams if you're not top class rugby player. Like, you have to be at that level, don't you? Because you're going to get found out if you're not. But, he is good. So we're going to see anyway what happens there. It's a pity on Johnny Sexton. Now, I heard them saying there, John, just before we started this on the sport there, just after dinner, that Johnny Sexton is going out, which is nice. It's great that he's going out with the team and all, for hopefully to give them a bit of verbal support. So it's nice anyway that Johnny is going.
I'd almost say he's probably like an extra coach, isn't he, at this point? So I'm not surprised he's going out as well. Like, it would be,
He'd be brilliant with Carberry and Carty and all the rest of the team as well. Sure, he's absolutely brilliant. Like, and then hopefully that it can sort of get them hyped up for the game as well and say, right, okay, we're going to win this for Johnny now, when he's not there. So hopefully, anyway, I'm going to go anyway, John, for I know I'm always doing this and I'm predicting matches, but I'm definitely going to go for a very tight win. I definitely take a 1 point or a 3 point win in this now against France. And that time when Johnny Sexton got that drop goal, they would have only won that, I think, by either 1, 2, or 3 points. I can't remember now exactly, but it was very, very tight anyway. That drop goal, and that drop goal was from long distance. Normally you wouldn't get that, but Johnny did. He's such a talented footballer and player. But we hope for the best. So, what do you think, John, prediction-wise on this match?
I think I don't know if you saw any of the France-Italy game, but
France, bits of it,
yeah, France were just what you would expect. They're physically brutal up front, and then a couple of their tries came from just really fantastic moments of brilliance, individual brilliance, or very good choices made by the 22-year-old number 10, Ntamak. And I just think France are unfortunately I think France are going to win. I think if Ireland had Johnny Sexton, they would have the attacking ability to break down France. I'd like to be proven wrong. I think it would be great for Ireland to go out and win, and I will obviously be cheering for Ireland in this game to win. But I haven't seen what is needed in Ireland's attacking structure. I haven't seen that type of game from Carty or from Carberry, like that complete game.
Right.
And I just see it being really brutal between the forwards, and I see France probably getting a slight edge there, and then just being able to exploit it out wide. Could very well be wrong, but I think it could well be France by 5. Like, you'll probably get a losing bonus point out of it at the very least. There's not to say I don't think Ireland can't win. I think it's gone from a probably 60% in Ireland's favour to not having Sexton. 60%, maybe 70% in France's.
Yeah. Now, when Sexton's gone. Yeah, well, you know what I mean? Definitely, like, even Johnny Sexton, John, was doing an interview. I don't know whether you've seen it the other night. It was on RTE. I think it was the sport at 6:00 with the news, And Johnny Sexton was speaking, and even Johnny Sexton, now this is when Johnny Sexton was going to be playing. Even Johnny Sexton said, look, when we were playing France, we're haven't got a great record out there. Everyone knows this. He just said about the times that they're after winning, and they're very far and few between, So it's a mammoth task for Ireland, But I'm just going to chance them anyway because an Irishman, hopefully they will win, Now, John, I remember one time, and you wouldn't remember this because you're only a young man, but I was down in Limerick I went down to a fella used to go around with, and he was working down in Limerick at the time, and he said to me, come on down for the weekend. And I went down anyway. I remember I went down in the train, and it was in the 70s, early 70s. And I remember he was working on the Saturday and with other guys, and I just went into the pub to have a look at the match. I remember well. And the only man I can remember actually playing in the match. Now, this is going way back to the early 70s. Reeves used to play with France that time. I think I'm not sure if he was number 8. He was somewhere in the scrum anyway, I remember him. But that's the only thing. And I can't remember even who won that match. But I remember it was a great match, and there was great atmosphere and everything in the pub, because Limerick is it's a great rugby city, Yeah. But I just thought I had mentioned that, Now, I know it's absolutely got nothing to do with the match tomorrow. But you're looking, I always do things like this, John, when I'm talking about rugby. Oh, yeah, the other thing I wanted to say, John, was from last week, I just like to say to the family of Tom Kiernan, that he died, he passed away. And I remember him when I was only very, very young, when I was only a kid, and we had no television. And I used to go up to a woman that lived on the road near us, and she had a television. She's the only woman on the road with a television at the time. And I remember Tom Kiernan was playing for Ireland that time, and he used to be doing all the place kicking at that time, So it's just to say that as well, because they're doing a bit of a tribute to him there last week at the match, which was lovely, Now that's just to mention that,
So you're going for a narrow Irish.
Have we anything else to mention on it, John? Sorry, John?
You're going for a narrow Irish win then?
Yeah, a narrow Irish win on it, John, and we leave it at that. I think I just chance it, Hopefully they'll do it. Now Everton have to go right, and very right for them, and hopefully they don't get any more injuries. And it's very hard to get through those matches, I think, without getting an injury, isn't it?
Yeah, very physical, very abrasive. But look, whatever happens, I'd say it's going to be a very entertaining match.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, that's definite. Because France, they're a great team to throw the ball around, aren't they? They're one of the best rugby teams, tackling rugby teams that you can get, They're always very good. Like, that's another thing, John, I'm just after thinking of it now. When the Viva, as it's known now, the old name for it was Lansdowne Road, and when that was being done up, they were playing their matches in Croke Park, the Gaelic Stadium, John, where all the Gaelic just beyond allowed to be at, and everyone. Ireland was playing there, and I think it was 2007, and it was one of the years to play there. And they played France at home, and Ireland were winning right up to about a couple of minutes to go. And the next thing, France came up and got a try out of nowhere and won it. Bet Ireland in Croke Park. And, Ireland really wanted to win that. And now I know they always want to win, naturally enough, but they really wanted to win that in Croke Park. They were after beating, I think they beat England the same year. I think it was the same year they were after beating England. And France came. So you never have them beaten, John, until the final whistle blows.
No.
That's it. It's over then. Until that, it's not over.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed anyway. I'd say it wouldn't be, it's not going to be that difficult to be more an entertaining match than last week's in the Aviva was. So I'd say we'll have a lot to watch and more to talk about next week.
Plenty of fireworks in it, I'd say. So will we wrap it at that, John, as to say?
Yeah.
Or have you? Do you want to add anything else, John?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, we'll wrap it then at that. And thanks for looking at this to everyone. And thanks very much, John, to you for doing all this and for giving your expert view and all on it. Right?
Yeah, thanks, Tommy.